All right, folks, thanks for tuning into Cochise County Sports Network. This is Levi coming at you live from Rincon University High School, which some of you may know is a combination of Rincon and University High. They kind of combined on one campus, Rincon University. So we're getting ready to do the national anthem here real quick. All right, folks, so this is Levi coming at you live from Rincon University. Tonight we've got a pretty exciting matchup between three schools. We got the Rio Rico Hawks, the Catalina Foothill Falcons, and of course the Buena Colts varsity wrestling team. We also got JV over here as well, but I guess what we're doing, because there's so many Bueno wrestlers, we're actually going to be wrestling varsity on two matches here at the beginning of the night as we start out our evening with the Colts and the Falcons facing off. Unfortunately, what that means for the audience back home, if you guys are tuning in, that we're not going to be filming every single weight class because they'll have two simultaneous matches going on at any given moment in time. I think at least for the first portion of the evening. They're doing that to get Buena and I think one other school out of here a little early, and it's typically what you expect to see. I know that when we've hosted Tucson teams at Buena, you know, when we're home, that we will usually wrestle with the wrestlers who have the furthest to travel to get home. That way they can get done early, get on the bus, and get that trip started. So that's what they're trying to do for us as well. It kind of messes up the roster a little bit, and I might mispronounce some names and miscalculate some players and weight classes and things like that. So do me a favor, try to bear with me. I'm going to go ahead and change the graphic on my scoreboard there to say weight class instead of CCSN varsity wrestling. That way I can at least try to tell you guys what weight class is wrestling at what time. Now right now the coaches are getting me together a roster for each team, so I should here soon have a pretty good idea about who's who, and as long as they stay on top of things with the scoreboard here, which is what I go off of with my scoring, and weight class information, then I should be okay to put that information through our system as well. So bear with us. You know, you guys are usually pretty good with us, usually pretty lenient with us when it comes to this type of stuff. Wrestling's not an easy sport to cover, so we certainly appreciate everybody's support there. Got 2 minutes on the scoreboard. We are using a basketball scoreboard this week as opposed to, I think we used the soccer one last week, or excuse me, before Christmas break. And we weren't allowed to put anything up past like the second period, and there's 3 periods in high school varsity wrestling, so we are makeshifting a basketball scoreboard to work for wrestling here with multiple periods, and we got 2 minutes on the board. So I think what you guys can see there is the varsity team getting up from the bleachers. Sheriff Daniels, the head coach, just called them over. We are up to wrestle first, so this should be pretty interesting. We're going against the Falcons, as I said a moment ago. And yeah, I think I've done enough explaining of that. Big shout out to Yuritsa Robles. She's been contacting me so far this afternoon asking about the wrestling meet tonight. I wanted to make sure we were going to be out here. And I apologize for not getting back to Yuritsa soon enough. I have been working on setting up and getting the computers and the cameras and figuring out what mat we need to focus our attention to, which looks like it's going to be this mat. The other mat's a little wobbly. If I were to pan the camera to the right, you see there's a lot of wobbles in it. You guys can probably see it there on your screen if you're already watching. And it's just not a very presentable mat. It's not very flat like the one that we're in front of right now. So this is where they're going to try to send the majority of their varsity traffic to tonight. I spoke with the head coach for Rincon University, and he said that he would try to send as many varsity matches over to this mat as possible. Obviously defaulting varsity to this match when there's not two matches going at the same time. So excellent participation from the head coach here. Want to give a big shout out to him. Thank you, Rincon University, for the hospitality. I gotta tell you guys, this is the second time I've been to Rincon U. The first time was shortly before Christmas break. I think it was for a basketball match. Pretty good match. So I'm familiar with the gymnasium. It was easy to set up, and everybody was really friendly. So big thank you to those guys. And yeah, we're getting ready to start here. Just waiting on our rosters. Like I said, I'm not going to know everybody's names. I will call them blue and purple and red. I don't know. Go over some of the colors here for everything. So our scoreboard might not accurately display which teams are playing at any given time, but I will, of course, leave the Colts up there the majority of the time unless they're not playing at all. That way, you can just assume that the Falcon, where it says Falcons, or it might say Hawks, is the opposing team playing against Buena. Running like 3 different programs to get everything to kind of fit together. So sometimes there's glitches, sometimes I forget to change a setting of some sort. So we'll be all right. I think essentially what's happening maybe is that they're going to have like a one weight class wrestle in front of me, and it might be like Buena versus Catalina Foothills. But then on the other mat, they might have like a different weight class where Buena is going against the Hawks. And I think that might be what's going on here, so that we can get Buena wrestled through both teams and essentially get them on their way. And then I think after that, there'll be an exhibition between the Hawks and Catalina Foothills, where their varsity wrestlers battle it out as well. So I'm not quite sure what's going to happen, but we're going to figure it out as we go, as we usually do. You got to just adapt and overcome. Do us a favor, if you're watching here tonight, hit the like and share button for us. We've got 3 schools here, and I'm sure there's plenty of parents and grandparents and teachers and friends and relatives who'd like to see these young men and young ladies participate here today. Wrestling is actually a pretty fun sport. I didn't think that we'd have as much fun covering it as we do right now, but let's see here. We've got Pippin Hernandez, Jesse, saying BHS, let's go Colts. We got Rochelle Best, and yeah, let's go Buena Colts. And Yalitza Robles is cheering on DJ at the 195 weight class, and also saying how amazing I am, so I appreciate that, Miss Robles. Keep the comments coming, guys. We like to interact with you folks as we live stream. It's a little easier with wrestling. It's not as fast paced. I don't have to be panning the camera left and right, so we can typically pay a little bit more attention to what we've got going on screen wise. Now we're streaming simultaneously to 2 separate pages. So we've got the Sierra Vista News Network, which is the proprietor of Cochise County Sports Network. We're streaming there as well as on our Cochise County Sports Network page. So, if you guys want to watch, either page would work. We're also on YouTube. If you go to YouTube right now and you go to Cochise County Sports Network, you will see something there as well. I believe this might be the 106 weight class. I don't have confirmation, but I'm going to go ahead and put it across our scoreboard here. If you guys know who's wrestling right now, give them a big shout out on the comments. Let them know you guys are tuning in and watching. Rochelle Best, you are most welcome. Right away, we've got the young Colt driving hard, having that top position. So far, he's got that left arm locked, and he's pushing down on the head, trying to get him into a cradle, and he's got that back leg locked, and that's a very quick pin. I didn't even I didn't even get the scoreboard started, but that is a very quick pin right out the gate for the young Colt. Excellent job. You guys can hear some excitement over on the other court as well. You know what I think we might experience here is a couple JV matches come across our screen tonight as well. It's very possible as they kind of try to figure out who they're having wrestle on this mat here in front of me. That was some very well executed wrestling by the young Colt. There's 1 minute 43 seconds actually left on the clock there in that first period, which means he pinned him in just over 15 seconds. Excellent job. And we've got a forfeit for another one of the Colts here. I believe that's probably JV. He is tiny. I think he was a little smaller than the last wrestler, so it might have been a JV wrestler, might have been a varsity wrestler, I don't know. I don't have the roster in front of me yet. All right, here's another lightweight taking another forfeit here. Excellent job, perfect execution. I think these are all the, I want to say these are all the matches against the Hawks, I'd want to say. No, this is against Rincon University. So the Rangers. Let me get that changed. Logo's not going to be right, but we got the Rangers there, and we're underway. Right away, we've got a shovel toss there as he gets him to the ground. Quickly gets behind him for the 2 points, and he decides to stand up and get the one escape point here. Right now it's 2-1. And the Colts take another quick dive to the ground here with the Ranger. He's got him almost pinned down on the back. We'll see if he's able to get the pin. I realize our clock's not running right now. I did hit start, but it's got about 1 minute and 20 seconds left here. There we go. And it's going to be 3. And a chop of the arm and tossing him over. He's trying to get that leg locked and was maybe going for a cradle there. But now he's got his back pushed right against the ground. Excellent job. He's got that top dominant position. It's 7-1 right now. All right, 7-1. It had about 50 seconds left there in the first period. And the Colts going to take the win. Excellent job to the young man. Yaritza saying that was Ryan from the Colts. I appreciate the shout out there. I don't know all these young men. We've only done like 4 or 5 of these meets, and that was between 2 years. So a couple different wrestlers than last year. All right, and a beautiful slam there, getting the young Rangers to the ground. Colt already getting that dominant top position. It's 2-1 right now. Actually, I think it's just 2-0. And he's doing a great job keeping him from being able to build that house and get up off the ground. You see he's working the back of the legs. He does get the one escape point here. So that'd be 1 point for the Ranger as they come back to a clinch here. And this is going to come down to technical capabilities as you see the Ranger trying to shoot, but Buena quickly getting over top of him. And he drops him. You can hear the coach yelling, build, build. He wants him to build a platform, put his hands and knees on the ground. But what you see the young Colt doing is he's going for a cradle right now. He's got that leg locked. He's got the head locked. Doesn't quite have it sunk in yet. And he's able to shake loose of it. But Buena controls the exchange still, 4-1. He's going hard for that cradle. And when he was trying to build that house, he did a great job at grabbing that left arm and pulling it underneath the Ranger, so he wasn't able to actually put his hand flat on the ground. And he sits back, and the ref's moving kind of out of her way here. He's trying to sink it in. And he calls it. That will be a pin with about 17 seconds left on the clock in the first period. Excellent job for the young Colt. So far, we're looking good for the Colts. Up overall 24-0 right now, and I think they might have gotten a few more points at the end of that match. Not entirely sure. We'll find out here in a minute. Looks like they're just sitting at 24 points. It's 24-0. Buena Colts are dominating here against the Rangers. A few of those were due to forfeits, but so far a lot of pins in the first period. Let's see if the Rangers can do anything to change that. Ankle pick. The Colts able to get him down. That's going to be 2 points for the takedown. And he's already wrapping the head and that back leg, and he's going for another cradle. This is a signature move for the Colts, and with 1 minute and 43 seconds left in the first period, he gets the pin. Excellent job to the young man. That moves the Colts up 30-0. He's gotten some taller, more slender young men coming to the mat next. And what I like to see is the change of body statures. You got the short guys who are long and strangly, and then you got these tall dudes who also have long arms. And then you got, you know, the heavyweights who maybe don't have as much reach, but they've got power and strength behind them. So it always makes for a slightly different wrestling match. All right, we're underway. Right away they clench up and do a little bit of spinning. Young Colt is trying to maintain dominance, but the Ranger is pulling down on him, trying to break his defense. He does get the leg, and he's able to get back position. That's going to be 2 points for the young Ranger right off the bat here. He's got that back left leg kind of locked in. He's pushing, not letting the young Colt build his house. He's also got his arms wrapped around his waist, so he's got him kind of in a pickle here. So far, the score is still 2-0 here. The Ranger leading the way. Overall, 30-0 for the Colts. So this could be a match that turns the tide and gets some points on some team points on the board for the Rangers. And they're probably going to stop it here in a moment as they're kind of inching their way toward the edge of the mat, and they did. Colt is taking the down position. This is because that's kind of the position they were in before he called, and he immediately stands up. He's going to try to get the escape point. No good, though, as the Ranger yanks back on him and gets on top. Still 2-0. He's trying to get the pin. You can see he's trying to use his weight to push that top shoulder of the young Colt downwards. And doing a great job getting his leg free, walking to his head, and then shuffling, getting the near fall points. That's going to be 3 points, making the score now 5-0. And we have about 25 seconds left here in the first period. This might be the first match that we actually see go all the way to, or go outside of the first period. But he's got the chicken wing. He's pushing hard, trying to roll him over to his back, but he lost. Oh, he might have him here. What we need to do is see the young Colt spin out of it, walk his way out of it. He's got that back, both back arms kind of locked in position right now. Makes it a little hard. But that's the end of the first period. Great job on the young Colt defensively to avoid the pin, but still losing here with 8-0. All right, Buena taking top position. Let's see if he can kind of turn the tide. He wasn't able to get escape, so it's smart for the coaches not to give him the down position. But now we got to see what this young Colt can do and give him the opportunity. He does roll out of a move there. The young Rincon Ranger ducked underneath him as he was hugging him from behind, and he was able to kind of jump over him and roll out of it. All right, so we got another 2 points. Looks like it's going to be going to the Rangers. They haven't added it to the scoreboard yet, but I saw the ref holding his fingers up. And the young Colt is just in the same position he was right at the end of the last period. And they heard a whistle blow and thought that there was a pin, but it was from the other mat. And so that confusion allowed the young Ranger to sink in a little deeper here. And it looks like he there it is. He got the pin with 1:13 seconds left in the second period. Excellent job to the Rangers. That gets 6 points on the board for him. The score now 30-6. Buena still leading the way. Excellent job by both wrestlers. It was the first match we actually got to see go all the way into another period. We got a little bit of a height advantage for the Ranger here. He's got a little bit of height on this young wrestler. But you can see already that the Buena Colt using his height disadvantage to his advantage by keeping his knees bent and staying down low. And that's good to defend against the shoot that the young Ranger just tried to do as he tried to slide in. He tries it again, and the young Colt, excellent defense. And tried to pick his ankle with his leg. Also no good. Great defense by the young Colt. But right now he's got his head kind of on top of the Ranger, and he's pushing down and pulling. I think he's trying to use his weight to kind of wear out the Ranger, and he does trip him up, and he's able to get on top. That's going to be 2 points for the young Colt. And he's straddled him. Lots of spinning going around underneath him, but he is making sure, and he goes ahead and gets side position. He's working his way toward the neck and the back arm there, trying to push him. And he got his back on the ground. Let's see if he can pin him there. Colt doing an amazing job preventing the kip, trying to get him off, as well as the walkout. He went ahead and positioned his legs, and he's got him almost wrapped around to the inside thigh area of the young Ranger here. He's got that top leg wrapped around. He's still working his way around the neck and that right arm. He's got it chicken wing, so he can't pick himself up, but it's also preventing him from rolling. Now I think what he might be doing is possibly going for some sort of cradle. He was reaching for that back leg. We got a dangerous move here that could result in a shoulder grab, but 13 seconds left here, and the Rangers spinning out of it, and the Colts getting right back on top, keeping that weight down on him. Scores 5-0 right now. The Colts leading that way. There he is. He's getting him to the back, and right at the end of the first period, and the ref's got to break him up as they weren't sure if that was their whistle or the whistle next door. This is an exciting wrestling match. Neither defender really getting too much control throughout the entire match. There's a lot of twisting around on the ground, a lot of changing positions and reversals, which you'd like to see. It's a very fast-paced match. Colt still leading 5-0 here. He's going to go ahead and take the top position. I think they're looking for an escape point here. And the Colt's able to drop him back down on the ground, ripping him off his feet. And he's got that arm, and I think what he's trying to do is do a stack. He's trying to put his head kind of on the mat. He gets his own head as he almost takes a spill, and that's going to be 2 points for a reversal for the Rincon Ranger. Now 5-2, and he's able to body slam the young Colt on the ground. This could be it for him, but he strengthens his way back around and gets another reversal. 2 points. Scores now 5-4. There we go. Young Colt on top, scores 7-4, 30-6 overall. He's flattening him out right now. You can see as he's kind of pushing down on his head. Very hard for the wrestler to get his head up off the ground, which he needs to do in order to start building a foundation to get out of this. Oh, just under a minute left here. And looks like the Colt is going in for a pin. The Ranger may be tired here. It may be enough to get him. And there it is, with 43.9 seconds left on the clock. This young Buena Colt was able to get the pin there in the second period, strengthening their lead, now leading 36-6 overall for team points. Got some more tall boys coming in here. All right, started the clock a little early, but that's okay. Usually takes me about a second or two to reset it anyway. Both wrestlers here so far just kind of stuck in a clinch with each other, trying to find dominance, doing lots of hand and arm exchanges, grabbing the wrists, grabbing the back of the neck, trying to push down. And now they both have kind of changed height as they drop down and then drop back up. And Buena shoots, and with a big body slam, takes him to the ground. That's going to be 2 points for the Colt. Score is now 2-0 here in the set. Doing a great job of keeping at least one of those legs immobilized, as well as keeping the arm building, trying to push up and get his chest off the ground. As you saw right there, as soon as he did, he pushes him to the side. Now he's rolling him, trying to get the cradle in. Maybe even just a pin right here. He's got a pretty good angle of the back. And I think he's got him. There it is. The young Ranger let go of the Colt and let his arm fly backwards, and that was enough to let his shoulders lay flat against the mat, and the ref went ahead and called it. Overall, the Colts leading 42-6 against the Rangers. Not sure what the overall score is next door, but it's the Catalina Foothill Falcons, and looks like the Rio Rico Hawks battling it out over there. All right, and so far, lots of excellent movement here on this varsity match. Not sure of the weight class or who's wrestling. Give him a shout out as he just ankle picked and dropped him right on the butt. That's going to be 2 points for the young Colt as he gets that back position. Right now what he's doing is he's reaching in, he's trying to get the arm, trying to get the leg, and looks like he might have a cradle here. He just has to lean back and sink it in, and he did lose it. All right, so there's another drop. The ref lets it go. You see him grabbing that back ankle as well as breaking down the defense. Gets him to his back. This could be it for the young Ranger. Let's see what happens here. Ranger trying to twist out of it and get his back off the mat. Not able to do it. He wears himself out. 1 minute and 3 seconds left on the clock in the first period. And the young Colt's going to take a pin, securing another addition of points. It's now 48-6. All right, looks like we have a young lady coming out to wrestle right now for the Rangers. This is one of those sports you like to see multiple participation across the sexes, so to speak, across the gender lines. You've got a lot more athletes competing with these young men as females than you do see otherwise, and they are fierce competitors. We're underway here. Definitely a height advantage for the young Colt. Let's see if the technical skill set of this young lady is enough to overcome that. She's already trying to pick that back leg for a shoot and to take him down. So I'm seeing some technique here. This isn't just one of those things where she just wants to come hang out with the boys. She's here to compete.
Elbows tight, keep your eyes on him.
All right, and the Colt able to get her down there. And I think the ref just went ahead and stood him up, gave 2 points to the Colt, and they won escape point, I believe. It's 2-1 anyway. With the Colt leading the way. And he's able to overpower her, take her down there. She switches to her stomach and is trying to build that wall, but he's doing a great job at getting a cradle set in here. She's able to roll out of it, and he's going to have to make an adjustment. He's flipping her over to her back right now. And this could be it. This could be a quick pin. And she does roll out of it to get the 3 near fall points for the Colts. That makes the score now actually not even 5-1, but 7-1. And the ref stops it with 42 seconds left. Actually, it's a pin at 42 seconds left, so that's going to be a win for the young colt. Excellent job. Fierce fight there by the young Ranger. And if you can believe it, we have another female wrestler getting ready to come up from the Rangers, and I believe, yeah, that's it. I think there's one more female wrestler coming up. Overall team points for the Colts, as of right now, we're looking at 54-6 overall. There was just that one pin, I think, at probably around the 160 weight class that the Rangers were able to get. Here we are. We've got a young lady in purple on the left and the young man from the Colts on the right. They look about the same height, same build. Should be an interesting match. The head coach for Rincon University wears a fedora. You'll see him cross my camera right now. Oh, he stopped just shy. You can see his hand reaching in on the right there. And he rocks this fedora, man. There's no way I could do it, that's for sure.
He wants to go.
All right, looks like there's an opportunity to stop the meet, but this young lady wants to wrestle, so they're going to let her wrestle. That's probably a disadvantage that young ladies have in wrestling due to weight classes and things like that. There's an opportunity for them to wrestle. They might not get that opportunity again anytime soon, so that, you know, they definitely want to get in there and show everybody their best. Quick leg grab is going to be 2 points for a takedown by the Colt. And he's got a dominant position right now. She's trying to build herself a little bit of an out, but he keeps flattening her out like a pancake. And she's gone ahead and she's been laid flat against the ground. This might be a pin here. He's got all his weight on the upper portion of her body. I don't think there's any way she's getting out of it, and I think the ref went ahead and called it. Minute and 15 seconds left on the clock. That's going to be a victory for the young Colt. And I believe that concludes Rincon Rangers versus the Buena Colts. I think what we're probably going to see now is another team move in, and the Colts just continue to kind of fire away here. We will find out shortly, though. Overall, the team score for that set was 60 points for the Colts and just 6 points for the Rangers. The Buena's very large wrestling team once again dominates against their opponents. I don't think I've actually seen them lose more than once since we started broadcasting as far as overall team points go and are concerned. So excellent job by these young men. Let's jump over on my phone real quick. My phone is dying, and I'm getting phone calls and all sorts of other craziness, but let's look at some of these comments. Lots of people cheering on DJ at the 195 weight class. People cheering on Jaden Hernandez. Ryan thanking us for the coverage. More cheering on the Colts. Awesome, awesome. I really love to see you guys interact here on the videos and cheer on these young men, especially since these meets start about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And when you're out of town, a lot of parents, they don't have the opportunity to get off work and travel up and watch. So hopefully there's some parents out there that are getting some benefits from this. All right, I jumped over to the Sierra Vista News Network for whatever reason. It separates the comments between the two live streams, even though it's the same live stream. We've got Namarin Spencer cheering on Devin Sullivan. Got Francisco Morales cheering on Buena. Claudia Trujillo cheering on the Trujillos. Nariman Spencer saying, thank you so much for covering. This is a lifesaver. It is a pleasure to be to your service, sir. Dolores Morales saying, let's go, Buena. Nicole Spencer also cheering on Devin Sullivan. Says, you got this, boy. Aunt Nikki loves you. That's real sweet. You got Nicole Spencer saying, woo. Billy Fina Ballesteros saying, "Go Colts." And he's cheering on Billy Ballesteros. And of course, you got Nicole Spencer saying, "Let's go Colts." So you got lots of interaction between both of these videos. Lots of people tuning in and watching, so we certainly appreciate that. Wrestling typically does pretty good. We usually get anywhere between a couple thousand and as many as 10,000 views on our wrestling meets. But we've covered a lot more this year, so I think the viewership's kind of spread out a little bit, diversified a little bit, and that's what we like to see. So it looks like the Rio Rico Hawks have made their way over here. Let's go ahead and get some adjustments to our scoreboard made. And I'm getting another phone call. I'm going to go ahead and mute my audio real quick, take this phone call while we've got this quick break. We'll be right back. All right, sorry about that, folks. Just got a very strange phone call. As you guys know, we run a news agency, and so occasionally we get phone calls from readers calling in, trying to see if we've got any information on something that they may have witnessed or saw happen, and maybe they didn't know all of the details, and they were hoping maybe we could fill them in on some information. I do know that this individual said there's something that was going on at Home Depot, lots of police vehicles and stuff like that. We're not in town right now, so there's no way I can get over there to cover it. But we are going to be at a press conference tomorrow, so it might actually be related. I'm not entirely sure, but tune in tomorrow on SVNN. We'll probably bring you guys some more information about what that has to do with. We don't have very many resources. We're pretty strapped thin when it comes to personnel and when it comes to things of that nature, but we'll see what happens. Hey, got the Trojans over here. I'm not sure. We've never had the Trojans. I'm wondering what school this is from. Interesting. So I don't think it's the Hawks that are actually playing against us at all. They did go ahead and move back across the court. So I'm going to mute the mic real quick. I'm going to walk up. I'm going to find out which school this is and if they're the ones that are going to be going up against Buena right now, and I'll find out their name and try to pull in a graphic for them. All right, we got to figure it out. So Catalina, Trojans. We have a couple different Catalina schools apparently. We got the Catalina Foothill Falcons, which we've seen many times on our network. But who we haven't seen is the Trojans before, so this should be pretty exciting. We haven't seen them wrestle. We haven't seen them in any other sporting event or meeting event that we've covered. Not to say the two schools haven't competed before, just simply saying that in the 2 years or so we've been doing this, we haven't seen them yet. So this is a fresh look at the Trojans for all you folks down there in Cochise County. All right, I went ahead and just changed the logo to a silhouette of two wrestlers wrestling, since I don't have anything for the Trojans quite yet. Try to maybe pull something up while I'm waiting. You know, actually thinking about it, I grew up in Illinois a little bit, did some high school down there, and we actually had a team called the Trojans as well. All right, I'm not going to be able to get a logo up there in time. I did find one, but it's not transparent. I'm going to have to go in and use the magic eraser tool in Photoshop to get it to come in and look good. And we're underway here, first period of the Trojans versus the Colts, and the Colt real quickly gets the 2 points with the takedown. And he's trying to break that defense, trying to not let him build up any sort of support here for himself. He's got that back right leg locked, and he's trying to push him over his shoulder onto his back. And he's almost got it. And there it is. He's able to get the forearm behind the neck and force the tip over. And this is where we see a possible pin come into play. We'll see what happens. Actually, we won't because the ref's in the way, but there we go. And he's definitely putting a lot of weight down on him. He's trying to kip out of it, but he's pushing him straight back down. And that's going to be 3 near fall points for the young Colt, strengthening the lead 5-0 as he ducks the head and tries to go in for a stack there, but the young Trojan's able to wiggle out of it. And he's trying to do it again. There it is. He's got him stacked. Actually, might be a young lady, I think. Yes, it's a young lady there. Lots of lady wrestlers tonight. Pretty cool stuff. And he is able to get the pin with 31 seconds left in the first period. Good job by the young Colt. All right, we've got another match underway here. Some tall, skinny dudes. And they are coming right out of the gate. The young Colt gets a quick takedown, gets the 2 points. And he's got him right there on the ground, as you guys can see. He's trying to do is build a way off the ground. He's getting up onto his hands and knees, but the young Colt doing a great job trying to flatten him back out. He's got that left arm locked up, and the right arm is literally underneath the young Trojan. He's not able to get it out from underneath himself as the young Colt is trying to roll him over and get him to his back. And he is fighting hard. He's even got 1 foot on the mat. He's back down to hands and knees, back up to 1 foot, and he does a spin. And he's able to get back down to his belly. But he is fiercely trying to stand up. He's just forcing his way up, and this is amazing. 55 seconds left here on the clock for the first period. Colt flattens him back out, and he's trying to rotate him now. He's got that back leg in the way, though. Lots of people cheering on. Hopefully you guys are cheering on at home as well. And this is probably going to get stopped here. And it does with, it was 11 seconds, but the clock ran a little long. It's 9 seconds. And the young Trojan's going to have to take the down position because that's the position he was in before the whistle was blown. And we'll see the last 9 seconds here if he can get an escape point. And no, he does not. The Colt slams him back down. Says, I'm going to hold you to the ground here for this last 10 seconds. No escape point for you. And the score is only 2-0, so what we'll probably see is Catalina take another down position here going into the second period. We see this a lot when they try to get the escape point. This young man has shown that he can get his feet back onto the ground. Not the case, though. They're going to go ahead and just do a neutral position. And the young Colt takes him back to the ground immediately for another 2 points, strengthening his lead now 4-0 and 6-0 overall for the Colts. The defense of this young Trojan is pretty awesome. I wouldn't be surprised if we went 3 rounds here, unless he gets tired out. A little ankle pick there as he's trying to get him into a cradle of some kind. He loses it, though, and is now chasing him, sprawling across the mat. And a little quick reversal by the Trojan, who gets a bit of a dominant position here. He's got that back leg linked in. If he can just get back position, he would get this get 2 points on the board. It'd be 2-4, and possibly even the escape. Varsity coach got the attention of the Trojan as they broke up. I think he might have a game plan here. And they're just rolling and raving all over the mat here, and that young Colt is hanging on like a tick, not letting go of the back. And that young Trojan being nice and strong, pushing up again, trying to get to his feet. Back to his belly. I think the ref is going to stop it and reposition him. 42 seconds left. So this very well can go to a third period. The young Colt actually kind of looks taxed. And he digs deep for some more energy and pushes that Trojan right back to the ground. Still leading this match 4-0. Has not let the Trojan score, but what you see is the Trojan is trying to crawl his way to the edge of the mat, trying to get a reset here. And that young Colt is doing an excellent job at pulling down on his wrists, getting his arms back underneath him, and then putting all his weight down on top of him. He's got the neck, he's got that back ankle. As you see, the Trojan immediately defends by stretching his leg out. 6 seconds left. The Trojan looks like he might be in trouble, but he's able to rotate out of it. And we're going to see a third period here. I called it, too. This is the first match so far on this mat that's gone to a third period. All right, Buena takes the down position here, and they had 3 near fall points right there at the end. That strengthened their lead 7-0. Now, since Buena took the down position, he just needs to figure out a way to escape here. If he can escape, he'll get an additional point for the escape. That will strengthen his lead 8-0. But this Trojan might actually have an advantage here. And the reason why is because the Colt has led that first 2 sets of 2-minute periods and has been using all his strength to just kind of beat down on the young Trojan. Now that the Trojan has got dominant position, he might actually have some reserve left in his tank, and it looks like he's going for a cradle here. He's got that leg locked. He's stacking them up, and this could be it for the Colt. But we see a reversal as this young man digs deep himself, gets 2 points for the reversal. So that's a score of 9-2 right now. The Colts leading this match with about 50 seconds left here. Overall, this young Colt is desperately trying to push down and just get his back flat on the ground to get the win. But this young Trojan is flexible, he's strong, and he has a good instinct on the ground. And now he's got one leg wrapped and the head wrapped. This could be a pin for the young Colt if he's not able to be careful here. We're just inside 30 seconds left. Scores 12-2. Colts leading the way here. Not sure why they got an extra 3 points, but I just follow the scoreboard here. And with 8 seconds, if both players can just hold off, Buena will get the win here. And it looks like that's what's going to happen. Buena's going to win 12-2. Good job in that last 30 seconds, just preventing himself from getting pinned because he kind of lost that dominant position, but he defended well on the ground. Both defenders, actually, they did a great job. You know, it was a lot of back and forth wrestling, a lot of tossing around, and yeah, and I think there was a discrepancy. They're talking about 9-12 right now on the board. So I think that they're going to be taking a trip over to the official scoreboard. It was 9. Scoreboard has 12-7, which would put everything quite behind for the Falcons, or for the Trojans. Either way, I think Buena still has it. I think what it's going to end up being is 9-2, maybe 9-4. He might have gotten a reversal in there, but the Colt wins, and that strengthens the lead now, 9-0 overall. When you don't get a pin and you don't win over a certain amount of points, I think it's just 3 points. I think if you win by like 15 points, it comes. I don't know. It's wrestling's crazy. We have Claudia Trujillo saying, "Go Isaiah." And we have Nicole Spencer saying, "Let's go Colts." Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing and commenting. If you folks haven't left a comment in our live stream yet, please cheer on your team, cheer on your friends, cheer on your kids, whoever it is that you're watching, whatever they mean to you. Cheer them on. Let them know that you guys are excited. It's got another pretty evenly paced match here in the first period. Colts leading 9-2 over the Trojans. And Buena, if they can spin around, and they do, they get him to the ground, that's going to be 2 points for the takedown. Got to make an adjustment to the scoreboard here, 2-0. And this young Colt doing a great job. This Trojan looked like he's in trouble. He might get the pin here. Here it is, yep. He had spun around from behind him, put all his pressure down on top, kicking his feet out over his head, and essentially what that did was it just applied enough gravitational push to lay those shoulders flat. Excellent job for the young colt. Overall, it's 15-0. Colts leading the way. And a quick shoot by the young Trojan, but the colt defending and then chopping at that arm to break down that defense. There it is. You see the chop. And this is another young lady, I believe, for the Trojans who's wrestling. The young colt just doing what he needs to get her to the ground. Gets her onto her back here. Let's see if he can get her pinned. And a good adjustment by the Colts. Take his arm around the other side of her neck, which helped push that part of her body down. Let's see what happens here. She might be running out of steam. And the ref calls it with 1 minute and 8 seconds left. That's going to strengthen the Colts, 21-0. All right, looks like we're gonna have a forfeit, and I think this is JD coming up right now. I'm not sure. So if you guys are, I think Yalitza is voting for him, cheering him on. I think I heard someone shout his name, JD. Oh, and he gets a forfeit as well. Excellent technical execution there, taking the win. Now I think we have a match. And this is a pretty exciting match. Both teams not able to get a dominant position here. Both of these wrestlers changing positions, changing angles, looking for shooting opportunities. The young colt looking for like kind of a judo throw, not able to do it, and he gets 2 points against him there. Actually, I think they're giving those points to the Colts. I'm not entirely sure. On the scoreboard, it's to the Colts, so. This young colt is going to be trying for a cradle there. Oh, and he straddles him on the back, and he's kind of all over the place. Let's see what he ends up doing. Got 2 points for each team. It's 2-2. Unless they take those 2 points back away from Buena, because I wanted to say the original 2 were supposed to go to the Trojans. But this might, also might be an exhibition match. This might be Rincon, because he's in purple, so I don't even know who's wrestling right now. I do know we have a Colt on the mat, so that's great. All right, Buena walking around there. Just inside 15 seconds left here in the first period. Score is now 2-2. Overall, Buena leaving 33-0. And there's the end of the first period. We'll be moving into a period number 2. Let's get 2 minutes back on the board. Buena's taking a down position, which could turn out in their favor if he's able to get a quick out, quick escape. Immediately twisting, immediately trying to get his butt to the ground. But he's got that back ankle grabbed right now by this other wrestler. He's got both legs wrapped around it. And the young colt able to kind of spin out of it. He just has that one leg kind of eaten up right now. And he's going to have to kind of sprawl and go it out onto his belly, get that leg loose, and then make his move. The leg is loose. You see he's built kind of a triangle. He's got both legs up, but immediately that wrestler on top wraps his legs around now the other leg and is just keeping it locked like a python. That being said, the colt is on top, putting down his weight, and he lost control of the leg, so now the colt is going to have the opportunity to, he spins the other wrestler onto his back, and this could be a pin here. We've got about a minute left in the second period. And the Trojans are leading 4-2 in this set, so the Colts need this pin here if they want to win. And he gets it. 52 seconds left on the board. Down by 2 points. The young Colts able to get the pin. No, excuse me. That was a Trojan. Okay, so it wasn't even a Colt wrestler. This is how lost I am, guys. It wasn't even a Colt. He was wearing blue, so I just assumed, but it looked like it may have been an exhibition match between the Trojans and the Rincon Rangers. And now we've got young Bourbon coming out. Giovanni's out here to wrestle. Let's see if he's got a match. Giovanni is also the quarterback for the varsity football team for the Colts, and he takes a forfeit and automatically wins that. That strengthens the lead now 39-6. And another forfeit for the Colts. And just crossing our screens, another young lady who's going to be wrestling for the Trojans. Two different body physiques here. You got the Colt, he's very tall, very slender, and the young lady who he's wrestling is shorter, and it all evens up. They're in the same weight class. They're going to wrestle. Oh, and a quick shoot by the Colt, grabbing that ankle, getting her immediately onto her back. She does a great job defending and twisting, and now she's going to try to build herself up here. All right, he breaks her down there, gets her back onto her belly. She's trying to walk out of it with her legs, but he quickly is going for a stack here. He does have a cradle. He leans back, and there it is. The minute and 26 seconds left in the first period. He does get the pin via cradle. Excellent job by both wrestlers. Very exciting to see as many female wrestlers out today as we have. I think that was like the 4th or 5th. That's the most I've seen wrestle in one day. So that's really awesome stuff to see. Even on some of these smaller teams, having participation from some of the female student body is pretty awesome. Overall score is now 51-6. Winna Colts leading the way. And we have a match here. The young Colt making his way over to the scoring table to let him know he's going to wrestle, and now making his way out to meet the Trojan. Buena's in blue and black. And he is excited. All right, immediately underway. He takes a couple steps back, keeps his hands on his knees. Now in a clench. Trojan trying to shake things up a little bit, but good defense by the Colt, disconnecting and stepping back. A lot more technical wrestling, I think, is what I'm looking at right now. Both wrestlers trying to change height, trying to pull down and tug on each other, trying to find a weakness and an opportunity for a takedown. And we got a shoot by the Trojan. He's able to get that right leg of the young Colt. And now he's got both legs wrapped. And the Colt doing a great job shuffling backwards and pulling up. This is like an immovable force against an unstoppable something. I don't know, that Tim McGraw song. A good sprawl by the young Colt. He's able to get back position, and he's able to get the 2 points on the board for the Colts. It's a good match, ladies and gentlemen. And the Trojan's able to get back to his feet, but he's quickly pulled back to the ground. I think there's a violation, a clench of some kind. The ref was motioning with his hands. Looks like there's a timeout here called. And I believe they might be giving, they're giving 1 point to the Trojans. Trojans are taking the down position. If he's able to mount an escape here, he would tie things up 2-2. You can hear the coach saying, explode up, get up and explode. This young Colt doing a great job at just breaking down his defenses. Got about 10 seconds left here on the clock in the first period. Buena's leading 2-1, not letting go of this top dominant position. Ooh, and gets him into some sort of cradle here. Right as the buzzer was sounding. So that's going to be 2 points for the Colts, making the score now 4-1, but we will be moving into a second period. All right. So Buena takes the down position. You can hear the ref for the Trojans saying, grab the ankle. And this young Colt is able to drop down and flip it. It's going to be a reversal, giving him 2 extra points, now leading 6-1. He gets the Trojan onto his back, and this could be it. We've seen this position get pins for Buena all night and long. Right now, you guys just have a little bit of a better view than you usually do. Minute and 32 seconds. Minute and 31 seconds left on the clock, and Buena takes another pin, now leading 63-6. Some of the heavier weight wrestlers coming out onto the mat right now. All right, and another exciting wrestling match underway here. Both wrestlers kind of sizing each other up, trying to figure out what they want to do. And a shoot by the Trojan, grabbing that back left leg of the young Colt. If he can stand up and hold on to the leg, and the Colt reverses, grabbing the leg, and ends up wrapping around the back end of the Trojan, who's trying to break his grasp. And both wrestlers break apart. Still 0-0 with about a minute and 20 seconds left here in the first period. All right, and a sprawl and 2 quick points as Buena gets the dominating position. Almost a reversal, but the young Colt able to squeeze his way out and still maintain back position. And an almost judo throw as the young Trojan had him by the head and tried throwing him around. Both of these boys have got a lot of power in their legs, and they keep just standing the match right back up, getting off the ground. And now this Trojan is trying to run his way out of this grip. And he throws him from behind, is able to get a 2-point reversal. Now the score is 2-2, and this young Colt looks like he might be in trouble. He needs to keep his back up off the ground. As you see, he's arched. And the young Colt able to get out of it. And we're going to probably, see the clock stop at 28 seconds. Trojans now leading 5-2. They're going to get 3 near fall points. Sheriff Daniels is putting him down in the down position. He said, you're going to get up and then get out of this. And the Trojan says, I'm not having any of that. He immediately lunges forward, puts all his weight onto the back of the young colt. Now he's picking that back left ankle. But the colt's able to get up and out, and that's a 1-point escape point. And that's exactly what Sheriff Daniels wanted to see, as we got about 10 seconds left here in the first quarter. This will go to a second period. Trojans already now leading 5-3. Buena's taking the top position here. See, what he can probably use to his advantage here is some near fall points, but with a quick twist, the Trojan is able to roll himself into a reversal, gaining 2 more points, now leading 7-3. And he's got a potential cradle here. The young colt is now back on top. The Trojan lost the cradle position, and this young colt is now, all he has to do is get this Trojan flat on his back and hold him there, and he's going to get a pin. There it is. He got the pin with 1 minute and 13 seconds left on the clock. Excellent victory for the Colts, now leading 69-6. 69-6. And now we've got the big boys coming in. It's what we've been waiting for. And there's a forfeit, as they didn't have a competitive, or they didn't have a good match there at that weight class. So that's going to be another victory for the Colts. It was 69-6 after that last forfeit. I think that's another 6 points, which would make it 75-6, if my math is correct. Which, of course, it never is. My wife did my math homework for me, both in high school and in college. And I think that might be the conclusion of our broadcast here tonight, folks. I could, of course, film the other exhibitions between these other schools, but that's going to keep us here till 10 o'clock tonight. We have a long drive back to Cochise County this evening. So you got a young colt doing a backflip in front of the camera. And there's another handspring into a backflip. They're doing some tricks for us. And another beautifully executed backflip. And I think you can call that a cartwheel. But anyway, yeah, that's going to conclude our broadcast here, I believe. If for whatever reason we end up needing to go live again for some more Buena Colt matches here, then we'll probably do that. But we're probably going to go ahead and call it short for the night. We got a long drive back to Sierra Vista this evening and a 8 a.m. like a press conference with the Sheriff's Department tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. So tune into that on the Sierra Vista News Network. I've said it live, so now I got to do it. I forced my own hand. Anyway, folks, we appreciate your support. We appreciate you tuning in to Cochise County Sports Network. And I almost feel like there should be at least one more school that the Colts compete against. So I don't think I can leave yet. I think we have to stay here for just a little while longer. I don't think that they've gone against the Rio Rico Hawks yet. So we got the Catalina Trojans. We've got the Rio Rico Hawks. We've got Rincon University. And we've gone against the Trojans, and we've gone against Rincon. And so I think, yeah, we still have to go against the Rio Rico Hawks. Yeah, so I believe we have the Colts against the Hawks coming up here next. I should have known that my day wouldn't be over before 5 p.m. So we've got a little bit more time here. The Hawks don't have a very large team, so we'll probably see a couple of forfeits, and we'll be out of here in no time. But that's great news for those who are cheering on the Buena Colts here from Cochise County. You guys will see some more wrestling on the way. Got lots of interaction so far tonight. We've got about 20 or 30 comments on our Sierra Vista News Network page, almost 40 on the Cochise County Sports Network page. So we certainly appreciate everybody who's been tuning in. We got Rochelle Best cheering on the Colts and also thanking us for broadcasting. Got Pip and Jesse saying, "Good job, Colts." There's a way of viewing these comments in order of how they come in, because it kind of doesn't do that for us. Yuritza Robles cheering on James, saying, "Good job, James." Yeah, so just lots of you guys cheering everybody on. We really appreciate that. I know these young athletes appreciate it as well, being able to jump up, perform a wrestling match, and be seen by hundreds, if not thousands of people. It's a pretty cool thing that not a lot of people growing up my age ever got to experience. Now, we played the Rio Rico Hawks before. We'll probably compete against them come this spring in baseball. I know that they played baseball against us last season. It was one of the games that we broadcasted. It was more of a difficult sport. You know, what we really wanted to do is get some GPS trackers put on these kids as they're playing, and then use a camera that's built to film these GPS trackers wherever they move. So it's like a robotic camera. And we had some coaches from Rio Rico concerned about the safety of wearing those while playing baseball. We totally understood. But it kind of threw a curveball at us, to say the least. We have a question in the comments as well from Chris Esparza asking if this is just varsity. Mr. Esparza, that's typically what we do. We only do varsity sports. It gives these younger underclassmen an opportunity to compete and stay in sports and have something to look forward to when they as well play varsity. They don't even have any exhibitions currently going on the JV match, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. But right now we are just covering varsity wrestling tonight. Thanks for the question. Hope that cleared things up for you. All right, so all intents and purposes here, we've got a couple of matches coming up between the Rio Rico Hawks and the Bueno Colts. I do not see very many Rio Rico wrestlers. I don't know if they're in a locker room right now or if like the 4 or 5 people I see is their entire team. I'm not sure, but we'll find out here in a moment as we maneuver our way here through these weight classes. All right, 2 minutes on the clock, ready to go. Both wrestlers feeling each other out. And a quick lunge there by the young Colt. But the Hawk looks nimble on his feet. Looks like he might have been wrestling for a little while. Both wrestlers just kind of feeling each other out, trying to figure out how they're going to get the dominant position. And a quick shoot by the Hawks. Easily defended by the young Colt, but they're twisting around trying to figure out who's going to get that dominant seat, and both wrestlers back to their feet and separating, not wanting to risk losing 2 points against themselves right off the bat. Lots of headgear adjustments as well for the young Colt, so we'll see if that's going to play a factor in how he plays. Just grab the leg of the Hawk, and the young Colt doing a great job at reversing it and getting those 2 points. Oh my goodness, that was so cool. And I believe those 2 points were awarded to the Colts. However, they have it on the other side of the scoreboard. Looks like we got a cradle set up. He's getting the stack in. That back arm wrapped around the back of the Colt is what's preventing it from sinking in and potentially making it dangerous for the young Hawk. 30 seconds left on the clock here in the first period. This might be one of those matches that goes all the way to 2 or 3 periods. And Buena doing a great job at maintaining that dominant position. And now rotating him to his back. He's trying to get a pin, but he's not going to be able to get it in time. All right, looks like Coach Daniels has deferred to have both wrestlers start standing up. Colts leading this 2-0 so far. Let's see how they can continue this along. And a beautiful trip there caused by the Colts. It kind of hung in the balance. Wasn't quite sure if it was going to go or not. But this young Hawk is incredibly strong, and he's able to spin out of it and almost picked the young colt up off the ground. The colt doing a great job at putting his weight down on top of him. And he's able to get him up and over and onto his back. So this could be it with about a minute left. He's got some time to maneuver and get the pin. He gets 3 near fall points, which is going to increase his score. As of right now, it looks like I've been not paying attention. It's 10-0. Colts leading the way. I think what we see here is an attempt at a cradle. He's got that back leg picked. He's trying to wrap around the neck. If he can just get it in and get both hands clenched together, he'd have this. He's just focusing on the leg right now instead of the neck, trying to roll this young hawk over onto his back with about 36 seconds left on the clock. All right, inside 20 seconds, not much has happened. Colts still leading this period, actually leading the entire match here, 10-0. And the Rio Rico Hawk is just flattened out like a pancake, but he's trying to build a house now. And the young colt chops it right back down. There's the end of the second period. And that's going to take us into the third quarter. Buena takes a down position. Let's see what the Hawk can do now that he's going to have a dominant stance here. Quickly ankle picking to keep the young colt from being able to stand up on his own, as well as wrapping the other leg like an anaconda. But the young colt's able to roll out of it quite a bit. He's able to get back on top, spin around, and get a dominant position. That's going to be 2 points for the colt, making it now 12-0. He might be going for a 15 lead. If he's able to get the 15, that's going to be extra points for the Colts here in this first match, which would be pretty awesome. I think they call it a technical. I'm not entirely sure of the actual vernacular for it. But he's going to get the 3 points for the near fall. So right now it's 15-0 with a minute and 22 seconds left on the clock. Both wrestlers are going to... Actually, it's going to get awarded with a minute 22 seconds left. He might have got the pin right around the near fall, or maybe they just call it right at when it's 15-0, but he's able to get 15-0 and secure the win, putting Colts up by 6 points, 6-0. Have another young lady getting ready to wrestle here for the Rio Rico Hawks. I want to say this is the 132 weight class. I'm kind of lip reading right now. I'm trying to figure it out. All right, and we're underway here. The 132 weight class. The young Buena Colt versus this young lady from Rio Rico. And Buena really quickly wrapping up both of those legs, trying to break down her defense, not being as aggressive with her as I've seen some of the other wrestlers be so far tonight. But he's already got her kind of in a half cradle. She's doing a great job, though, at defending herself from the ground, trying to build a house, and she does stand up. He lets her go. That's going to be 2 points for the Colts for the takedown and 1 point for the escape for Rio Rico. This might be one of those situations where you might let it go, you might let it ride. There's 2 more points for the Colts. Try to get the 15 points. get a technical instead of, going for. Doesn't look like that's the case as he's setting up the cradle, though, with about a minute left here in the first period. There it is. He's got that leg locked. He's got his arms wrapped around the other leg. He did lose the clinch, and he lets her back to her belly. So that's going to be 3 near fall points for the Colts. This is what I'm talking about, just letting those points stack on. It's only the first period. He hasn't seriously tried for a pin yet. This could be it, though, with about 30 seconds left here in the first period. It looks like he's got her set up for a pin. It could be only a matter of time, and there it is. And that gets us into our next match. Got Mr. Backflips coming up. Young Giovanni here, varsity quarterback for the Buena Colts, hasn't been able to wrestle so far tonight. He's had to take forfeits quite a few times. Looks like he's going to have a match now. And this should either be a really quick match or a really long, really good match. Both wrestlers look pretty confident out there on the mat right now. Giovanni, though, is a very articulate wrestler. He usually pins very early on in the first period, within the first 30 seconds even. So we'll see what happens here as we are about 15 seconds into the first set. See how he changes his height like that. And both wrestlers break apart here, feeling each other out just a tad. Giovanni trying to reach in, but no success so far. Great defense by the Hawk. It's kind of hard to, pick Giovanni's legs when his knees are on the ground like that. He changes his height so often and so frequently. About a minute in right now. This is one of those longer matches that we've seen Giovanni in. Let's see what he can do. I hope this is Giovanni, too. I'd like to think I know some of these guys. Giovanni is just crawling around on his hands and knees. He's preventing the shoot. He's preventing a takedown. And I'm sure as soon as he finds his opening, he's going to strike. This is one of those things I said, from the beginning, both wrestlers look pretty confident. Both have a game plan or a strategy. I don't hear coaches yelling at them from the sideline. They're kind of just letting them do their thing. I have a feeling this could go one way or the other. Colts leading overall 12-0, but so far, no points scored in the first period here between Giovanni and this young Hawk. All right, the Hawks are going to take a down position here. This could be an opportunity if they can escape this, get a point on the board. Giovanni doing a great job blocking that back left leg immediately and wrapping his hands around the waist of the Hawk, pushing his head, driving it back down into the mat. And the Rio Rico is able to stand up, and with some spinning around, he's able to get 2 points on the board. And it's been 2-0 now. I did not reset the score, but I do apologize. 2-0. Rio Rico leading the way. You can see Giovanni trying to use the momentum of his legs to get off his back here. This could be a pin if he's not careful. He's got very little places that he can take his body. He can't roll forward because he's being blocked by the Hawk, and he can't roll out of it because his whole upper part of his body is being locked by that leg. As you can see, is kind of going around Giovanni's head there, and there's a pin with about a minute 5 seconds left. Just as I said, this is one of those matches. It could go either way. Giovanni's usually a very strong wrestler, very hard competitor, but he met his match here tonight.
Next match is ready to go. And I don't see any other Rio Rico Hawks in headgear. Like I saw this young man who's up there right now. During the whole last match, he was kind of staged up, ready to go. And I don't see anybody else like that, so it's very possible that this could be the last match. We'll find out. Right now, 12-6. Colts barely holding on after that last pin. This Colt trying to manhandling the Hawk a little bit, trying to spin him around, throw him off balance. See him reaching inside there between the legs, trying to hook his own leg in there for a trip. And now the Hawk is trying to do the same thing, but the Colt defends very nicely. And he reaches down, grabs the leg, but the Hawk spins out of it. Both of these wrestlers doing a great job, and another attempt at a trip against the Colt, but he's able to lift his leg up and over and get it out of the way. All right, and the ref's going to stop it at 52 seconds with a warning about clinching. That's going to be 1 point going probably toward the Hawks. So I think we'll find out here in a moment. And it was for the Colts. So 1 point for the Colts. And there's a judo throw. He's able to drop him onto the ground, but he quickly rolls out of it. And now this young Colt needs to get back position in order to get those 2 points. And he does get awarded the 2 points by the judge. So we got 3-0, excuse me, by the ref. And looks like we might be going for a cradle here. We've got that back right leg locked. He was reaching around to the leg and reaching around for the head a moment ago. .11 seconds left on the clock. I know our clock says 7. I'm going to let it run down here. There we go. Colts still on top, leading the score 3-0, 12-6 overall. And that's the end of the first period. All right, Coach Daniels has put his wrestler in a down position. I can hear him hollering right away, right away. I think he means stand up right away, get out of it right away, get the break, get the 1 point escape point. And as you see, he fires out of the chute right away, following directions, trying to get that, trying to get a reversal, and he does. He's able to get to the back. That's going to be 2 more points for the Colt, now leading 5-0. About 1 minute and 40 seconds left here in the second period. Both wrestlers, though, back to their feet. It's going to be 1 escape point for the Hawk. So he was able to get back to his feet and get out from underneath the Colt. Oh, we got a Hawk going in with his talons and might have caught the eye of the young Colt. He's kind of pushing in on the head a little bit. I don't see any blood or anything. Chef Daniels is checking him out. I'm sure he'll be all right to go here in just a moment. Got to be careful with those fingers sometimes. Now, I'm not sure how this happens. I think if somebody gets poked in the eye like this and they can't continue on, they might win the match just due to you know, the aggressiveness of the other player. It's also possible they might have to just forfeit the match. I'm not sure what the rules are. I know that they're looking around for a contact lens, maybe. Yeah, the way everybody's looking around on the mat, I think they're trying to find his contact lens. At this point, could have been stepped on by any of them. All right, good sportsmanship by both players. Doesn't look like it was intentional. Both wrestlers going to take a shared position here. 5-1. Colts leading the way. Overall, 12-6. They take another shake of the hands, and they're underway again. Let's see what happens. See if this added some fire to the young Colt, and it does. He shoots, and he's trying to take down. He's got that leg locked, and he does. He gets him down. That's 2 points for the Colts. Now leading 7-1. 54 seconds left on the clock, and it looks like he might be able to get a pin sunk in here. Yeah, that Hawk is trying to rotate his body around. Ref stops it with 47 seconds left on the clock. Right down here in the second period. This could go to 3 if the Colt's not able to get a pin here in, but he's going to take an up position, so the Hawk has a chance for an escape. He has got 1 escape point so far in this set, so it's possible he could get another, but this Colt is just dominating. It's like a fire was lit inside of him after getting poked in the eye like that. I can't see you, but I'm gonna wrestle you. That's probably what he's thinking, because I think he's missing one of his contact lenses. Colt doing a great job spinning it around, trying to get him onto his back. You see he's got that chicken wing there. Does not look comfortable for this young Hawk. He's able to get his arm back up and around his head. 16 seconds left on the clock. 2 points for the Colts, making the score now 9-1. You guys can hear everybody hollering for him to stand up. He's trying to build a bridge here. With 6 seconds left, I'm not sure what else can happen here. Colt just needs to hold on, not let the escape. Colts are going to take a down position here for the third and final set, leading this match 9-1. Overall in 10 points, 12-6 right now. And immediately with a spin and a grab of the leg, the Colt is able to get 2 points and escape out of that down position. It's 11-1 right now. And with the topsy-turvy of events, the young Hawk is able to get 2 points, I believe, in a reversal, yes. So he's going to be getting 2 points, now 11-3, and getting some assistance back up to his feet by the Hawk. They're going to return back to the center of the court. Colts are taking the down position again because, you know, the reversal had taken place. And right away, that young Hawk trying to chicken wing in the Colt. He's able to get on his back. Let's see if the Colt is able to do any spinning to get out of this. We've seen some good footwork. He stands up and almost goes to his back. This boy in a Colt could be in trouble. He's got his left arm kind of locked in right now. This could be enough to get him over onto his back. He does spin, though, onto his belly. .52 seconds left here in the third period. If this Hawk is not able to get a pin in, he's going to lose the match 11-3. About 40 seconds left on the clock. Let's see what happens here. You can hear Sheriff Daniels saying, you got 30 seconds, you got 30 seconds. Keep your back off the ground. Don't get pinned, don't get pinned. 25 seconds left. This is Isaiah wrestling right now for those of you interested. And he looks beat, he looks tired. This could be it, ladies and gentlemen, with just 12 seconds left. He gets pinned, unfortunately, for the Colts. That is what the Hawks needed right now. They were down 12-6 in overall team points, and that pin is going to give them 6 points, which evens things up right now. It's 12-12. This is the first time that the Colts have been tied with another team other than at the beginning of the match when both teams are 0-0. I think that is the conclusion of the broadcast, though. 12-12. I don't think they're going to be counting forfeitures up against the Rio Rico Hawks, because I know that Buena definitely has a stacked house in terms of its roster. And the Rio Rico Hawks, unfortunately, they only had about 5 wrestlers, like I was saying. So I'm going to go ahead and mute the audio real quick. We'll find out if this is the end, and if it is, I'll come right back and let you guys know. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be right back. All right, so that is it for the Buena Colts. I just had one of the officials come over with the score. It was 72-12 overall there, so not 12-12. They did go ahead and calculate in all the forfeits because they don't have a very large team, but they did come out with 4 or 5 wrestlers, and they did a great job evenly pacing us there to tie things up 12-12. But after everything got added in, it's 72-12. That concludes our Buena Colts varsity wrestling for tonight. All 3 schools have competed against each other in that respect. Over on the JV side, they're the Trojans, and I believe maybe some JV wrestlers from Buena might be going on right now. But we're going to go ahead and pack up our gear. We got a long drive home and an early day tomorrow morning. Thank you so much to everybody who tuned in, and we'll see you next time.